Greetings, everybody. Welcome. We are going to take a quick look at week 2 in humanities class. And I'm going to do a little kind of live demonstration of the MLA review so that I can avoid having to write out the same comments 300 times on everybody's. So I will put a link in the comments on those assignments as well and give you a quick rundown of like what if anything you had going on there, but this way it'll be all at once for everybody. So it'll save me a little bit of time down the road. All right, so let me go ahead and open the course and then a Word document here. And we're going to take a look at the course first. So let me get out of from behind here. All right, so we are entering week 2, and I was very excited to get to meet all of you on the discussion board last week. You should already have grades back on the discussion board assignment as well as the startup scavenger hunt. I'll be putting in grades for the MLA review soon. Typically, just kind of a heads up, typically I try to get everything graded within 1 week. I also try to grade things throughout the week if I'm able to. So this week, it's kind of like when the week ended, 2 things were already graded. That is not always going to happen. Just so you know, I'm good, but I'm not always that good. So you can expect though to get feedback and to get grades typically, like I said, within a week. If there's anything going on where it's going to be delayed, I will always put out an announcement and let you guys know too. So just, so you kind of have a heads up of what's going on. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the modules. We are in week 2 and 3. So we have started the slavery era, and there's a lot of reading for each of the different eras, which is why each of those take up more than 1 week. So this module is going to last this week and next week. And so there's some assignments that are not due until the very end. You'll see all the due dates and all of that stuff in Canvas and on the syllabus. So we can take a look at that as well. But the way they're arranged in here is they're just kind of all in each of the modules. So for each module, there's 3 what Canvas calls pages. One is just the outcomes page, which is just, kind of for your review. The next is I consider the really important part, which is the resources and the assignments that are due. So in order to successfully complete your assignments, you do want to make sure that you view and listen to and watch and read all of the assigned materials, course materials. And there's always going to be some kind of a lecture. Now, somebody had pointed out last week that there was a problem with the video. So I think everything is working now. You'll notice it's only a 4-minute video. These lectures are not terribly long. It's really just kind of an introduction and an overview. So you definitely want to watch those, or read the transcript if you prefer that kind of thing. But make sure you take a look at those. And if there are ever any problems, do let me know. Luckily, somebody gave me a heads up and I was able to go in and fix that. So if you do have any issues with something loading or whatever, let me know. In the transcripts, though, you do need to actually save the PowerPoint in order to open it in PowerPoint. Because if we just click on the transcript, what's going to happen is it's going to do the file preview, and you'll notice that it's just the PowerPoint itself. It does not have the notes section. So you would need to actually download and save the PowerPoint and then open it in PowerPoint, and then you'll be able to read the notes sections. We have our first chapter, chapter 1, from the Patton book. The Sharon Patton book is available free through the Lake Sumter Library. It is an updated link. I did double check that. You will need to log into the library with your XID and your 6-digit birth date. If you do have any issues with library materials, if you will contact the library directly, they can get you fixed fairly quickly. And if it is during regular school hours, you're even, once you log into or once you go on to the library's page, you will be, you'll get a chat box. So you can actually chat live with librarians during regular business hours as well. Then we have some links to readings from around the world. These, of course, are all from the slavery era. Phyllis Wheatley was a well-known poet of the era, so we have some poetry there. And then, of course, a lot of the writings from the slavery era are what we call slave narratives. And so you've got Olaudah Aquilano, Harriet Jacobs, and Frederick Douglass, many of you who have probably heard of at least one, or if not all of those before. And then Sojourner Truth gave a famous speech called Ain't I a Woman? And you've got the text for that. From music stuff, for lack of a better term, we have several links there as well as and a video. So make sure that you eventually make it all the way through. Now, again, you have 2 weeks to complete each of these modules, some even more than that. But you want to get the readings done as soon as possible and then take on your assignments. My brain just lost that. The way it typically works is at the end of week 1, if we're having a reading quiz, you will have that due at the end of the first week. So at the end of this week, reading quiz 1 is due. Reading activity / activity response is not due until the end of week 3. But they're both linked here on this page because you can go to them and do them, and everything is super cool. All right. The next page is a preview of what's coming up. So the meat of the course is always going to be in that middle link of the 3, the resources and assignments. I would just page through them. You can look at the outcomes and the what's next, but you will be able to see that throughout. Everything other than the final exam is open. So if you are a work ahead person, feel free to keep going. You do not have to wait on the rest of us necessarily, but keep that in mind. I also will mention when you are writing the activity, the reading / activity response, these are going to be done in discussion board fashion. And it is very specific about writing 5 or more paragraph essay. So always make these essay form. You do not have to create them in Microsoft Word. You can do them directly on here. A lot of people like to write them in Word first and then copy and paste so that you can save it, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay. So that's what's going on this week. And I wanted to give you guys a little heads up about the MLA review, like I said. So what I did, all I did so far was copy and paste the text from the MLA review, and we're going to convert this into MLA proper format. And so it'll give you a heads up about anything that you saw that you may have done or not done. One of the big things, of course, is that all Microsoft, good grief. There we go. I'm hitting wrong buttons today. I don't know what my deal is. You would think it's Monday, but it's actually Tuesday. One of the things, of course, that we do in MLA and any APA as well is plain double spacing for the whole entire document. Now there's extra spaces in here, but I'm going to go ahead and convert the whole thing to plain double spacing, and then I will take out the extra spaces. So we're going to go to line spacing options, and we want to make sure that this says 0 and this says 0. Microsoft Word a few years ago decided to go cuckoo crazy and put extra spaces between paragraphs. I still don't understand why. I call it crack spacing because I suspect somebody was on crack. It's the only explanation I can come up with. So we're going to just go ahead and change it to plain double spacing and click OK. Now, If you wanted to, you could also change this to what most people consider to be the standard font and the standard size, which is Times New Roman 12. If you don't, you can use the default. There's absolutely nothing wrong with using a default, but there are fonts that are much larger and fonts that are much smaller. And so you do have to have a standard font and a standard size. Okay. Next, we need to add the header. So we're going to use the insert menu. We're going to choose page number first, and we need this at the top, and it automatically does on the right-hand side. We're going to click OK, and then next to that, we're going to type the last name, which in this case is Doe. Oh, I also need to change the font on that one as well. Let's go to the home and change that to Times New Roman. There we go. And then next to that, we put in the last name and a space. That's easy enough. All right. First four lines are full name of student, last name of instructor, the course. This is from obviously from one of the literature classes that I teach. So you could leave this here, but you could also change it to humanities if you wanted to. And then the date. Now, I will say this is not a big deal, but MLA likes to do British style dates. So we're going to change this to 14 May 2024, just for consistency. Now, the title of the story is also the title of the paper, and it must be in quotation marks. It must also be centered. Edgar Allan Poe, first line, we're going to tab over. And this this was something that I copied, and they misspelled Allen. But if you didn't change that, no harm, no foul. Then we have some quotations and we have some in-text citations. Now, I'm going to go down and look to make sure, because anytime you see a number 1, that's a little questionable, because very rarely is there even an actual page 1 in anything. So we're going to go find out what kind of source the Hayes source was. So let's go down there. Hayes was a book. Okay, so page 1 could be a real thing. So we're going to leave it alone. All right. But I always check those. If you see a weird low number, it usually is that somebody's done, like they've printed out a website page or something, and they think it's page 1. 1 has to be like the real quote unquote page number. All right. So then we have first paragraph. I'm not going to go through every single detail of this, but I'm just going to show you the stuff that was format changes. We're going to tab over for paragraph number 2. We do have quotations from the story, and Poe wrote the story. I sometimes have people who choose a different name, which is always weird to me, but Poe is the author of the story. So if it's a quote from the story itself, it does need to have Poe. Then we have Antonio Perti. I think that's misspelled. Is it? No, it is. It's Preti. I thought it was. That just didn't look right. So was that the first time? Yeah. We're going to change that. Again, if you didn't catch little spelling errors or something like that, nothing bad's going to happen to you. But the closer you can be to perfect, the better. All right, so we're gonna indent, we're gonna change his name. Notice that the only place that I tried to fool you by taking the quotation marks off was the title. I really wasn't trying to be mean, but short story titles always have quotation marks around them in MLA papers. So got that. Then we have another paragraph. Now, horror is from a website, and because it is a website, a web page title, it is also going to have quotation marks around it, and we would know that because we would have done it on the works cited, and it was correct on the works cited. So again, I wasn't really trying to trick you too bad. So, but horror should have quotation marks around it, even inside the in-text citation. And then we have the final paragraph. Alan. All right. Now, works cited starts on a new page. So we're going to insert a page break. And works cited gets centered. So we're going to center that. The bibliography needs to have a hanging indent. So we're going to highlight the whole thing and we're going to move the bottom triangle over so that everything has a hanging indent. Now, there are a lot of problems with this particular works cited list, and I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time going over them, but I will show you some of the things that are kind of a warning sign that something has gone wrong. So when we have an ebook, we still have a book title. So we're going to put that in italics. The database title is also always in italics. And then we have MLA has changed. So if I'm using an ebook, I'm going to get the citation from the library. So I'm actually going to go into the library real quick and look this up with you to show you how to find those. There's also a little trick with finding the sources for the library, the correct MLA citation. So this is a good time to do that. And this will be true of all database articles and ebooks. So Kevin, what was his name? Kevin Hayes, Edgar Allan Poe in context. You should be able to find that. When you're searching the library, of course, you can be very specific. This is the first thing that comes up because I put both the information, all the information in. Notice that it is a book, but it says available online, which is why we are using it. It's an ebook. There's another chapter, individual chapters, but we're going to cite the whole book. So we're going to click on the link and I'm going to show you a danger zone. So one of the things that, and this is true of all Florida colleges, I don't know who did this. It has nothing to do with the librarians at Lake Sumter. They are awesome people, but this citation is never correct, ever, ever. Don't ever click on the citation button. I can't, maybe it's cracked too. I don't know. Anyway, you do need to open the source in order to get the correct MLA citation. So we're going to click on this first link and it's going to take us to the ebook. After we sign in, of course. All right. So now that you're actually in the book, in the resource, you are able to use this citation button. So we're going to click on this and I'm going to copy it. Now this is interesting because this one does not have Hayes listed as an author, even though I swear he is listed as an author and not as just an editor. So that's interesting. Well, I tell you what, we're going to use the real thing. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put that in here. Now, this is going to change the order. These do need to be in alphabetical order. Again, I didn't try to fool you with that, but we may have to move this one. So let me go ahead and I'm going to paste, but I want to match formatting. So that I keep the stuff. Where did it put it? Oh no, that's not what I meant to do at all. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's go back over here and copy this. Apparently I did not copy it. And now let's try that again. Match formatting. Yay, there we go. So now this is going to be really interesting because if we are using this as the citation, then this citation is going to change as well to Edgar in italics because Hayes's name no longer comes first. You always match what comes first in the works cited with what's in the in-text citation. So a little life lesson. All right. All right, so that one's fixed, and actually it ends up EFG, so it's in the right order. Now, on the second one, couple of things. When you have in the United States, when you have a period and a quotation mark, the period goes before the quotation mark. This is the website title, so that would need to be in italics. And then this one, I'm gonna show you a website that I love. So this is dictionary.com. This is the direct link to this article. We are going to go to Scribber. And I use Scribber a lot, mostly because I teach some classes where we use APA citations, and a lot of the website generator things are not free with APA. Most of them are with MLA, but you know, if I use this one for APA, I may as well use it for both. So we're going to click on that and put the URL in, and we're going to use their version of the citation. Oh, no, we're not, because that's not correct. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm betting 1,000 today. So the problem with this one is that it does not have the word horror at the beginning of it, which is the correct citation. So everything else on here is correct. I don't understand that. I wonder, let me try one more thing, because I have been wrong before. It's very rare, but I have been wrong before. Let's see if it's a change that they made between 8 and 9. No, this was just never right. Okay. I'm still going to copy this because I want to show you how I would fix it. I'm going to paste this in here, match formatting, and I'm going to get rid of, oh, do that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this second quotation mark title. There we go. Now it's right. So that's it. That's the citation. This one is from a print book. And so this one is going to have the title is going to be in italics. And everything else, I believe, is correct, although something changed with that. But we're going to get rid of print and delete extra space. So I would, I don't want to take the time to open up a whole thing, but I would make sure that when you are looking at the citation for a book, that you, if you have a print copy of a book, which is pretty rare these days, but if you do, and double check it, because I think we got rid of the city in MLA 9. I'm pretty sure. So double check that, please. Take a cue from me. All right, so this one is also a library source. So let's do that again, just so I can also remind you and show you that you do need to make sure to not choose that first thing. So Antonio Preti, and what was the article title? Suicide to harass others. Oops, can't spell. There we go. All right, so same thing. We're going to click on the title. And then we're going to skip this and click on this link. All right, so same thing. Once you've got it open over here, you can click on the citation link and it will have the correct citation, but you do not want to use that first one. So we're going to copy this and we're going to come back over here and we're going to paste this, because this one has for sure changed. There have been things that have changed with the newer version of MLA. So we're going to match formatting. And then it took off my hanging indent, which whatever, I can redo it. So there you go. So you will have the author, the specific article title, the journal title, the publishing information, pages, all that stuff, the database title in italics, and then a URL. So that's what it should look like when you're all done. It is in the correct order because it was supposed to be in alphabetical order and that was already there. But this is what it'll look like. I will save this and I will attach this to the announcement so that if you wanted to save it and look at it, you can do that as well. All right. So everybody have a great week too. If you have any questions, do reach out. If it's something that the whole class could benefit from, make sure you put it on the Q&A discussion board because that way it can answer at once. So, sort of like doing the MLA review with everybody at one time. So thanks everybody. I will see you next week and look forward to hearing from you. Bye guys.